Hi everyone, I just wanted to come on and share a book that I had made. It's called an Ultimate Brag Book, and it is a book that we made the cover and the binding, so the whole book is completely made out of paper and chipboard. It has die cuts and pockets, and it is just a great book. And the wonderful thing about it is that it holds full 4x6 photos. So when you have any of these pockets that pop out, they hold full photos. It is a great, easy book to fill. It's going to be a great gift. It's made in other themes. I actually made this one for my husband and I. We will be traveling to Florida to move there over the next couple of weeks, so I will now be a Floridian. So let me give you the list of everything that I used to make this book. For the paper, I used a paper pad by K Company called Cut and Paste. And the one thing that I love about this book is that it has all of these coordinated vintage prints. And they're all double-sided. So when I had a tag or a pocket that needed to be double-sided, I did not have to glue two pieces of printed paper together. I love this one. It actually has the map on there, and you can see this is the card that I used for the front of my book. So you can see I kind of cut this one up a little bit. And then for all of the die cuts and embellishments that you'll see in the book, I used this die cut pack from K Company. It's the Par Avion set. If you've never used these bags before, they are a great find because this one has 115 pieces in it. So plenty enough to fill up any book, any project that you may have. And they had some vintage icons in here. And so I just love this one. All of the inking, I inked all of the edges, and so I used the brush corduroy from Tim Holtz put out by Ranger. So that is how I get all of the aging and the distressing on the book. So for the front and back cover, it is made out of chipboard, and I covered it with the domino print. I added some nice linen brown ribbon. It's in a craft color. And I added these charms on my spine with some beads, a camera, and then a little vintage antique charm frame with the word Florida put right in there. I have a vintage car in the front and a postcard, and all of these, the card came out of the paper pad, but the postcard came out of the die cut set. And to get them distressed, I crinkled them up, and then I flattened them back out, and I inked them up just a little bit. I rubbed the ink pad over it and then on the edges, and it gave this perfect antique old look. I also stamped the word on the road. It's a border set. I borrowed it from a girlfriend of mine. I believe it is put out by Recollections. I'm not positive though. If you would like to know this, where I got the stamp set, I can always get that to you if you just want to pop over an email to me. Alright, so the inside of the book, the covers are all mitered and then matted. And we have this wonderful binding in here. We made all the bindings out of these 2-inch strips of paper. And it is glued on the front and on the back, but there's a space right here, and that is, it's not glued down flush. And the wonderful thing about that is that it allows some room for embellishments and photos, and when we go to really fill up this whole book. So the pages itself, if you look at just the red one here, it actually gives you 2 pockets that come out. So you have a smaller pocket, and in here I put in a little tag. The only other extra thing that I added to the books was number 5 shipping tags, which you can get at an Office Supply or at your local craft store. And then I just inked the edges and added some die cuts. I left room also for journaling blocks. So these are, I believe, 3.5 by 3.5. And I don't know yet whether I'm going to put a photo there or journaling, or I might take it out and put in a postcard or a hotel key, something like that. So the front and backs of the pockets are lined. And then this is a larger pocket. This one has a fold out, and it has 4 pieces that open. So I love that about this one, that it can accommodate those. I went ahead and I matted the printed paper on there. I could have left it blank for full photos, or I might just throw the photos right on top or cut them down and fill them out. Don't know quite yet. And then another space for a full photo. The back side of the same page accommodates for a pocket, and this is a full mat, and I added a Quick Cuts tab on there, and it's just a single sheet of paper, and then I cut out these circles using a circle punch. The one I had was by Fiskars, but this red circle cutout is 1.5 inches, and then the printed paper I used a 2-inch circle. And then moving on, we have our second, I call them pages because I go by the color. So this one was red and this one's now blue. Ink to the edges. I have this cute little die cut of the United States. And it, again, from the K Company pack. And then I'm going to ask my husband exactly what route we're going to be taking, and I'll fill that in on there in the end. I love this print. This is from one, I cut it up from one of the papers, and it is this calendar grid. So I'm going to be adding some handwritten fonts up there with the month, and then circle our dates of leaving and things like that. And again, this is a pull out that has 4 matte frames. And this cute little pocket that it fits in. And the pull out. Actually, this is a really good example of how I crinkled. You can see the die cuts are, they're vintage print, but they're not vintage in distress. So you can see how I crinkled it on the back. I literally just went like this, and then I flattened it back out. And see, now I made it even more vintage looking. And then I just inked the edges and inked the center. And that fits in there like that. That's how all of the pages were created. With more little pullouts. So it's very interactive. I love that about this book. There's always something hidden, something to go find. Hopefully we don't have too many detours. And then closing off with that little vintage car again. And then of course I put my altered stamp there of originality. And you can see the binding here. The binding was 2 inches, and we scored it in 2 places. And the reason we did that, aside also from not gluing the spine to the binding, this gives way for filling it with either 3D embellishments or all of the photos that I'll be putting in here. So that is the book. So thank you for tuning in. I'm so excited to share this with all of you, and I hope that you get the chance to create one yourself. Have a good one.